Hi and welcome to RCKicks. On today's show, it finally turned up, my 2020 Terra Scorcher. Oh, I've been itching for this one, and a few people that I know have got theirs already. You know who you are. And I've been waiting to get mine. I have never built one of these chassis, never. Now I own an original Thunder Dragon, but I bought it like this, exactly like this. I've done very little apart from put some wheels on it and put a little tray inside, but I actually haven't done anything. So I'm really looking forward to building one of these. Now the problem is, with what's going on in the world, it kind of has slowed down a lot of the deliveries. So I'm having real problems getting the parts in I need to finish the projects on the show. And another problem is I'm kind of wired that I hate to have more than a couple of projects open. Now I've got quite a few projects open that are not finished. This not being painted is just one of them, but I can live with that for some reason. But starting a new project while I'm working on current projects, I don't seem to like. Now the car that I'm currently working on is my 959 driver replica with a Jimny chassis. Now this is kind of grind to a halt because I was about to paint this up and finish off this build, but I need a really sharp edge between the blue and the white. And the tape that I use, I thought I had some, and when I dug it out to do it, to then record the footage of me finishing the body, it got oil on it. So it seeped into the actual material, so if I put it on, I'll get a reaction. So I've ordered some 2, 3 and 5 mil, but I'm not sure when it's going to arrive, so that halts this up. Now luckily the bottom section blue on the 959 is Tamiya PS4. This car is PS4, so I have the correct paint to make this car fully finished. So I'm thinking I should use the paint on this car, order some more paint. That will take a while to come. This project is now on hold until that tape turns up anyway. So I'm stopping this project and moving on to a new one, which rubs me up the wrong way so much. I hate that. And I really want to get this finished, and people are really keen on seeing this done. And I really like it. I've driven it in the garden already, and I've scratched the front of it already, but it works perfectly. Now the only thing to decide on this one is, do I actually upgrade the wheels to the correct white wheels? But that's quite a lot more money. It's like £60 more, but once I've finished painting it, I'll probably talk myself into it. But I do like these rims for now, so okay. Anyway, we digress completely off the actual topic of the video. So I'm going to put this on hold and start something new. Yeah, that's right. So I'm going to open the box up, get everything out, get all my bags all sorted, and then we're going to crack on with the build. So let's get it done. Whoa, that was easy. Whoa. Right, page 1. Right, we're going to be doing the diff by the look of it, so we're going to need some of them. We're going to need some of them, we're going to need some of that, and I'm going to need some screwdrivers, I'm pretty sure. Hammer, chisel, that kind of stuff. So first we're going to do page 4, which is number 2, which is basically the diff case and the diff. So we're starting with part A1, funny enough. Right, so that's the 2 gearboxes built. No real difficulty at all. The only thing that I found was when you're doing this gearbox, the propeller shaft, when it rotates, when you cut it off the spur, make sure you clean off the extra burr, because it's just right next to the main drive gear, and it has like splines on it, and it can catch it and make it feel notchy. Now if you were driving the car, it would soon wear that off and it would go away, but to have it nice and free, I had to open it up again and sand it off, because I couldn't quite understand why when you're turning the propeller gear it was getting notchy. But that's what that was, because the clearance is tiny. Apart from that, pretty straightforward. Just take your time, follow the instructions. The only other one I had was when you put this bolt through here, make sure you put it through the right way. I actually put it through the other way, and it was I couldn't quite understand why I couldn't get the nut on, because it doesn't clear. But that was my own stupidity. I looked in the manual and realised I'd actually had it round the wrong way. So that was all. Right, next we move on to putting the motor mount in. Now this is this new machined motor mount that's different to the standard kit. I'm probably going to put a different motor in this car, but for now I'm just going to put the silver can in, and I'll order another motor, something a little bit more spicy but not too much. But right now I don't have one, so I'll just go with the silver can. Right, let's crack on. Right, we made it all the way to page 8. That's the rear arms on the rear gearbox. The anti-roll bars are in. Now, one thing I've done is I've swapped out the screw-in bolts on the arms to protect this piece here. Now, it's the same with the front, which is everybody knows about, that this part blows. But these they're not really good, because when you screw this into the plastic you put outward pressure, which is then what blows that section. Now this car, yes, the front one is the one that goes very quickly, but it's actually got another one on the back here and another one at the top here. Now I've got enough of the split pin versions to do the back and the front, but you need a very short one for the upper links. It's only about that long. Now I don't know if you can get one that's short like that. That's basically what it is there. So I need to find a split pin version to change these ones. Otherwise, over time they just blow around the edges. But the good thing is changing them afterwards wouldn't be that difficult. Changing the bottom ones was a bit of a pain, because you've got to take the motor out. So it's probably worth, in the manual, when you get to the point of putting the motor in, which is quite early on, to get this arm and put the bar through and put it on before you put the motor on. Otherwise you've got to take the motor back out again. But that should then protect this bottom section part here from blowing. So eventually I don't want to use any of these in the car at all. Right, next we move on to doing the front. Coming along and really enjoying it. It's nice and easy, it's not difficult at all. There's nothing super weird about it or finicky. It's just a fun, easy flowing project. Right, let's keep going. Okay, so we've got the front and the back now finished. Sorry, it should be, yeah, that way around. That's it. Now we just need the bit in the middle and we're almost there. But next it's the shocks. I swapped out the front to have the, to protect the, forget the name of the part, the infamous part, which is the A5 part. I did have a protection bracket aftermarket that goes on, but when I used the rods with the split pins, with the extra mount on it, they weren't long enough, so I had to take it off. But there's no pressure on the surrounding part, so you shouldn't necessarily need this part if you just change the bars, because that's what blows. But I'm pretty sure that you still need to get more of those for the top sections, which is what I will do when I can. Next, I've got to do the suspension, so let's crack on and get that done. Okay, so there's the suspension, all done, lovely. I had a little accident, yeah. What happened was I was doing the oil, it was all going really well, and then I noticed one of them was very stiff versus the other. So I dismantled it and I was trying to figure out why it was so different, and I squirted oil all over the place, all over my top. So my top is finally dead, really. So that gives me the excuse to buy a couple of new t-shirts, maybe with a bit of branding or something like that, because this one is finally coming to the end of its life and it's super manky. And eventually I found out that it was because I was using a 2-hole, which is correct, but it was the small 2-hole, and I needed can I show you? I don't know if I can show you. Yes, I can show you. There's two different 2-holes. There's a big one and a small one, and I used the wrong one, and that's why. But I was checking it and then everywhere. But I did it. I cleaned up the mess, and it's done. So basically, you build the front and back, and then at the last minute, you actually bolt it all together when you have a car. Next, we move on to the electronics, which I have. So we finally get round to using the chassis. Page 14. So first things first, we've got to put the steering servo in. Nice and simple, standard. 2 uprights, which I've seen somewhere floating around. There they are. And then we just get them in the car. So that's next. So let's carry on and see if I can get this car wrapped up and finished. Actually, it hasn't taken too long to get that far. So I'm really enjoying it, apart from getting covered in oil. But there we go, that's life. Let's get crack on. Well, there you go, all done. I got a bit carried away, so I kind of missed a little bit at the end there. So sorry if it jumped a little bit in the footage, but I was getting really into it. Before I knew it, I'd kind of finished it. So it's all working. Let's plug it all in. Now, the next thing I've got to do is cut out the body and paint it up tomorrow, hopefully, and then it will be done. And then I'll get a little bit of driving footage. Where's the power switch? There we go. So it's all fully working. So there you go, it's all working. I trimmed it up and I set the limits for the steering, so it's all tickety-boo. So what did I think? Yeah, I made a few mistakes, mainly with the oil dampers. That was nothing to do with the car. It was just me being an idiot. So I've basically trashed my top. But hey, nothing special on that. Only other thing that I found that I thought was a bit weird was the body actually goes into this section here. So I wasn't quite sure, I didn't quite understand what that was all about. And it asked you to put a bit of, like a bit of rubber tape in there. But because obviously being Japanese, it didn't say whether it was to put foam or whether it was to put like Velcro or something. But yeah, well, not too sure. But I can get screwdrivers in there, I think. And just, it's fine, it will slide in. But it turns out the top slides into that and then clips down, and then you have this spoiler bit on the top. So I made a bit of a mistake on that. It was good to see that you got the mechanical speed controller mount. If you want to put old electronics in this, don't quite see why you would want to. There you go. I put the gold wheels that I had on this car from the Thunder Dragon. Thunder Dragon normally has black wheels, but I've just put the white ones on for now. I've got the black ones floating around in a box somewhere. But I think with the blue, the gold wheels look really good. So that's it. So really chuffed. Highly recommend it. There's a lot of adjustments you can do in this car. It's got, compared to the Thunder Dragon, you can adjust all the cambers and everything. So yeah, it's pretty fully loaded bit of kit. Nice to come with the bearings. So really happy with it. Can highly recommend it. Not a complicated build at all. Didn't take me that long. Next, we'll cut the body out, so stay tuned for the next video. Thanks very much. Please like and subscribe. Don't forget to head over to Facebook, RCKicks, if you'd like some decals, stickers. If you'd like some stickers, we do RCKicks stickers, just for a bit of fun. Thanks very much. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.